Hi, welcome to the Mathemagic channel. Thanks for being here today. The format that we're going to follow today is a worksheet. So it's a follow along worksheet for negative powers and fractional powers. Powers or exponents which are negative can confuse students sometimes, and fractional powers as well. So we're going to try and unconfuzzle everybody with this worksheet, and hopefully this will help you with your exponents at school. Let's get started. So here's today's worksheet. Now, before we get started, I'm just going to go through what negative powers and fractional powers are. So maybe if you want to watch this first and then try the worksheet, then that'll be great. So typically speaking, when we say 4 to the power a half, we mean square root of 4, which is actually 2. If you were to say 8 to the power 1/3, that would be the cube root of 8, which also is 2. So fractional powers are roots. And this kind of makes sense because if you think about, for example, 2 to the power a half squared, well, the square root and the squared cancel each other out. This will be 2 to the power a half times 2, which is just 2. So square root and square rooting cancel each other out quite nicely. So fractional powers are roots. So whenever you see a fraction as a power, like a half, that's the square root, a third, that's the cube root, a quarter, that's the fourth root, and so on and so forth. Now that's for fractional powers. Now how about negative powers? Well, when we look at 2 to the power negative 1, a lot of students say this is negative 2. It's not. It's a negative power. And a negative power means inverse or reciprocal, which means loosely flip it around. So if this is 2 to the negative 1, this will be 1 over 2. Remembering that 2 is actually 2 over 1 as a fraction. So when we flip it around, you get 1 over 2. So then let's say that you have a fraction 2/3 to the power negative 1. Well, if you flip that around, you get 3 over 2. So negative powers mean flip. And I would always encourage you, when you see a negative power, to flip the number first and then do whatever operation you need to do. So to give you an example related to that, say you had 4 to the power negative 2. Well, the first thing you should do is flip it around. So you could say it's 1 over 4 squared. And if you're doing this worksheet, you're probably okay with 4 squared being 16. So this is actually 1 over 16. And this is a very good answer for this question. So 4 to the negative 2 is not negative 8. It's 1 over 16. Make sure you got that right. Now, if you've got all that down, I recommend you pause the video now, and you can look for the worksheet in the description. I'll drop it as a Google Drive link, or try and work from it on the screen here. And so if you don't want any spoilers, pause the video and try the worksheet. If not, then let's do the corrections. All right, so if you've attempted these questions, let's go through the corrections. So question A says 4 to the power 3 over 2, and we need to recognize here that we could either cube the number because it's to the power 3, but that we could also square root the number because it's to the power a half. So we have some directions that we can choose here, and I'll definitely choose to apply the power a half first and then cube it, because the square root of 4 is just 2. So that's nice and easy. So just as discussed here, we're going to apply the square root to the power 4. So 4 to the power half is 2. And then we'll have to cube it, and 2 cubed is 8. So 8 is the answer to the first question. Now, do remember that to the power means the powers get multiplied. So when we do a half times 3, we get indeed 3 over 2. So this is why we can separate it into two operations, either cubing and then square rooting, or square rooting and then cubing. And that's going to be the theme for most of these questions. So assuming that we understand that we can separate the fraction first, that's how we're going to go here. So question B says 4 to the power 5 over 2. And then again, here you have the option of applying the power 5 first or square rooting first. So we're going to do 4 to the power half first and then to the power 5. 4 to the power half is the square root of 4, which is 2. So we're left with 2 to the power 5. And knowing your powers of 2 will be super useful here. 2 to the power 5 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 a bunch of times. And 2 to the 5 is just 32. So let's try question C, which is 8 to the power 2/3. So again, we can either square 8, which is 64, and then cube root it, or the other way around. I would choose to do 8 to the power 1/3 first, because that is 2. 2 cubed is 8, and then square it. So the cube root of 8 is 2. And then when we square this, we get 4. So that's how we do that question. So knowing your cubes would be super useful for question C. Question D, again, we're presented with 8 to the power, oh, not 2/3, sorry, this one is 8 to the power 5/3. So let's go 8 to the power 1/3 first, which is the cube root of 8, and then we'll put that to the power 5. We're left with 2 because the cube root of 8 is 2. And 2 to the power 5, again, learning your powers of 2 would be super useful, is 32. So that's for the first 4 questions. All right, we're moving on to the next 4 here. So question E says 16 to the power 3 over 4. And the first thing, again, is to think that do we want to cube 16 or do we want to take the 4th root of it? Well, it's probably going to be easier to do 16 to the power 1/4 and then cube that result. Lucky 16 is 2 to the power 4. So again, knowing your powers of 2 is super important here. So the 4th root of 16 is 2. And then 2 cubed, again, powers of 2 or just knowing your cubes. 2 cubed is 8, and this is a good answer for this question. Let's try question F next. So now we have 9 to the power 3 over 2. And we can do 9 cubed, which is 729, or we can do the square root of 9, which is a lot easier. So we're going to go 9 to the power 1/2, and then we're going to cube that result. So using the square root first, so 3 and 3 cubed, which is going to be 27. Again, please learn your cubes. As you can see, they're saving you a ton of time. All it takes is 10 minutes to learn them, and you can just do these questions much faster. So then now we have our first negative power. So we have 9 to the power minus 3 over 2 here. So as I mentioned at the beginning, it would be very good to use the negative power first. So the first thing to do is to say it's 1 over 9 to the power 3 over 2. And now we have the option to square root it or cube it. And as you see from the previous question, we've already done 9 to the power 3 over 2. It was just 27. So I can go through this whole thing again, or just tell you that it's 1 over 27, since we've already done first the square root and then cubing it. So using the result from part F, we can go a little bit faster. And then for our last one here in this section, 4 to the power minus 1/2. Even at IGCSE level, I've seen this question, which is worth 1 to 2 marks. So definitely worth knowing how to do it. We use the negative power first. So we're going to go 1 over 4 to the power 1/2. And the power 1/2 is just square root. So we're going to say that that's 1 over the square root of 4, which is 1 over 2. And that's how we do these 4 questions. So moving on to the last 4 here. So question I, we have 16 to the power negative 3/4. And the first thing to do again is to use the negative power to say this is 1 over 16 to the power 3/4. And we can use the power 1/4 as the 4th root of 16. So we can say that this is 1 over 16 to the power 1/4. And then we have the option to cube that number. So 2 to the power 4 is 16. So this will be 1 over 2 cubed. And 2 cubed is 8. So this is 1 over 8. On to our last 3 questions here. So question J says 8 to the minus 2/3. And we can say that that's, again, 1 over 8 to the power 2/3. First applying the cube root. So you see most of the time we're applying the root first and then the top power, right? So we're going to say it's 1 over 8 to the power 1/3. And then we're going to square that result. So the cube root of 8 is 2 because 2 cubed is 8. So it's 1 over 2 squared. And 2 squared is 4. So this is 1 over 4. Then let's do question K here. So 27 to the power minus 4/3. So recognizing that 27 is 3 cubed. So we're going to say 27 to the power minus 4 over 3 is 1 over 27 to the power 4 over 3. We can use the power 1/3 first. So we can say it's 1 over 27 to the power 1/3. Oh, I didn't need that bracket. To the power 4. Never mind. And so 27 to the power 1/3 is going to be 3. So it's 1 over 3 to the power 4. And so now, you know, we mentioned powers of 2 earlier. Powers of 3 are also quite good to know. So 3 cubed is 27, and 3 to the power 4 is the same as 9 times 9. It's 81. So this is 1 over 81. I would always recommend learning your powers of 2 up to 2 to the power 10 at least, and learning your powers of 3 up to 3 to the power 6 maybe. So those would be good ones to learn. Okay, so for our very last question on this worksheet, well done if you managed to make it all this way. We have question L, which is 32 to the negative 0.6. And we don't really know how to deal with decimals. I mean, we could, but it's not great. So maybe if we think about what 0.6 actually is, it is 6 divided by 10, which as a power simplifies nicely to 3 over 5. So we're going to change 32 to the negative 0.6 to 32 to the negative 3 over 5. And using the same logic as before, we're going to put that in the denominator because it has a negative power. So 1 over 32 to the power 3 over 5. And if we know our powers of 2, 2 to the power 5 is 32. So the fifth root of 32 is just 2. Again, knowing your powers of 2, super, super important. So in this case, that's going to give us 1 over 32 to the power 1/5 and then cubed. Again, I didn't need that extra bracket. That's the second time I do that. So the fifth root of 32 is 2. So we have 1 over 2 cubed, and 2 cubed, if you know your powers of 2 again, 2 cubed is 8, and so we have 1 over 8 for this last answer. This one is a little bit trickier because there was a decimal instead of a fraction. I hope you enjoyed the format for today. This was a little bit different. It's a follow-along worksheet, and sometimes we need to practice, right? So for mathematics, so we can recognize all the different variations, because that's what's going to happen in a test. You know, you practice a little bit, and then in the test, you'll have to know different variations. And if you've not done them before, you don't know what the pitfalls are, so it's important to get your practice time down. So that at least when you get stuck, you can ask your teacher or go and look for the way to do the question on the internet or with a solving software or by watching some videos. Please remember to like and subscribe to the Mathemagic channel, and I shall see you on the next one. Thanks for watching today. Bye-bye.